All right, today's project was the oil cooler that we have. Once again, some other videos, I just explained that we do pull this camper with my Outback, and the oil temp was reaching about 236 degrees, so I decided to get an external oil cooler installed, which makes this extremely tricky, and I'm going to show you why. For one, we did an improved racing plate. Let's see if I can get you there. So improved racing makes a pretty good plate. We had to have a riser that they also make to clear this lip of this oil drip pan, pretty much. I don't know what the function of this really is, but the sandwich plate's not going to sit there and fit. So this is with the adapter on and the sandwich plate now with the oil filter on, and it doesn't even go higher than this AC line. So we know the clearance of it is going to be just fine. The major issue is two things. One, these hoses are not the greatest of quality, and they do, no matter how much you pipe tape or thread tape these fittings, there is still a little residue or a little drip that kind of just makes its way to the bottom. So I'm going to be taking those off and actually doing more investigation on what the problem is with that, and maybe the fittings are just bad. The second major problem that we have is that this gap is next to nothing for clearance. This is the only way you can get this these wires or these hoses through to the front of your grill is in this configuration. The coolant reservoir is right here. We can't sit there and come over here because this plate will not clear the oil cap. So that was already attempted, and this is the only way we can do it. And I've had another car like this where a modification like this was down to just a couple millimeters. But the good news is it's not rubbing, it doesn't touch. That when the car starts, the engine obviously shakes to start. This all shakes with it. It's all one piece. So they'll move together. It's not going to be an issue. So we feed the lines down through. We just followed our AC compressor line. And we come through the front bumper here. So we have one line, well actually both lines. You can kind of see the braided nylon right there. Comes through. I put it in the front. With our shutter back here, this one down here goes behind. The shutter does open and close, and I don't want that issue. And it just connects into our oil cooler that's going to be tucked up against the corner. You do have to take the horn mounts off to sit there and be able to get this in there, but it will mount and hold, and it does work. Doesn't leak from those ports. Just a couple drips from here. So we're going to dissect this in a minute by taking this off, getting the sandwich plate off, opening up these fittings again, and we're just going to double check. This improved racing sandwich plate has a 200-degree thermostat, which is perfect because that's right around the range of the oil that was getting a little too hot. It would go up to about 236. So I want to keep the lubrication principles of oil. Oil needs to stay fairly warm to work correctly, but I definitely don't want it to be too cold, and I definitely don't want it to be too hot. So 200 degrees is pretty ideal for this setup. This kit I bought on Amazon. It was about $110, just kind of like a test. Biggest thing to remember when you're doing this is that these need to be filled with oil before hooking up everything, strictly because your vehicle is just going to pump its normal oil through, and it's going to go through the lines, and it's going to drain your pan, and nothing's going to be circulating because all the oil is going to be in your oil cooler. Second most important thing to remember is that you have to pipe tape this stuff. Well, hello, buddy. So you have to pipe tape this stuff strictly because of those leaks. You are dealing with the liquid. This is nothing to really go cheap on. You have to take your time because oil is the lifeblood of the motor. So we just want to make sure that these are pipe taped really well. And I'm going to go over these again with pipe tape because there is a very, 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 very small drip. But these have been pipe taped and the fittings hold perfectly. So I'm not too concerned about the bottom. I have no residual oil down here. So we did fill up this line with oil and fill this this cooler up with oil before we even changed our oil on the car, even started our car. And then once that was full and I started seeing the back feed of oil in this line, I connected everything together, redid my oil, drained the pan, filled it back up, let it run, checked the oil levels when I got it off my stand. Oil level for the engine is completely topped off, and this is going to have oil in it as well. I could feel it. So that's being held by the thermostat right here. So this is a good setup. Other than that, we'll fix these leaks, and hopefully we can put the bumper back on today.